Welcome back, friends, with another movie reaction. Today we are watching Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and I actually don't know anything about this film. My best friend just told me to react to it, and they've never really led me astray. They told me to watch The Menu, Moonlight, and The Good Place. Love all of those. So I'm here, we're gonna check this out. It sounds like this movie is about art. Maybe somebody's painting Katniss Everdeen's burning dress in Catching Fire. I don't know. I hope it's not about witch burnings. Anyway, let's jump into this. Full reaction's gonna be on Patreon. Leave a like, and let's get started.
Qui a mis là ce tableau? C'est vous qui l'avez peint? Oui. Quel en est le titre? Portrait de la jeune fille en feu.
This is a very interesting perspective, getting to see the boat shake that much. I don't think I get motion sickness easily, but this would give me motion sickness. Did it just fall out of the... Had to take a boat. Had to climb a mountain.
Je suis Marianne.
Marianne. Can we get some dry clothes? Yeah. Is that still usable in any way? Oh. It's a naked film. Danny, I think you can just put a black box over the naked parts, and that will be fine. If I guess that scene was not particularly informative. I don't know. She's just gonna watch.
Curieuse.
Okay.
Comment est votre jeune maîtresse?
Je ne sais pas trop, je la connais peu. On l'a sortie du couvent. Parce que sa sœur est morte. Il y en a un qui est venu avant vous.
And they failed?
Il n'a pas réussi.
Rich people, right? They hire artists to come so far just to paint them. Made her gasp a little bit. Oh. Just couldn't get the face right.
C'est un tableau de mon père. Il débutait.
When are we gonna meet this woman? It's been almost a day.
Elle a épuisé déjà un peintre avant vous. Avec une idée simple, en vérité. Elle a refusé de poser.
Pourquoi refuse-t-elle d'être peinte?
Parce qu'elle refuse ce mariage. Vous allez
Why?
devoir la peindre sans qu'elle le sache.
What?
Elle pense que vous êtes une compagne de promenade pour quelques jours.
Elle pense que je suis là pour la surveiller.
Et vous la regardez.
Dites-moi, que s'est-il passé pour votre maîtresse? Comment est-elle morte? Nous nous promenions près de la falaise. Elle était derrière moi et elle a disparu. Elle a sauté.
Oh shit.
Pourquoi le croyez-vous?
She didn't yell.
Parce qu'elle n'a pas crié.
And she was the one who was meant to marry? Is that what they're saying? And then now she's... This woman's going instead? I thought you were excited for the companionship. Oh, there it is. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa!
Ça fait des années que je rêve de faire ça. Mourir. Courir.
Running. Study, study, study. Stop being so obvious. I like that shot where her
Faut le
face
plus
covers
possible
hers.
faire rentrer l'oreille et bien étudier ses cartilages.
Vous êtes venu avec un livre?
Oui.
Voulez-vous me le prêter?
Is
Je vais le
she,
chercher.
is she starved for literature here too? There's nothing to do? Is she gonna feel betrayed when she finds out you've been drawing her behind her back?
Je voudrais me baigner.
In the ocean?
Quand la mer sera plus calme, peut-être.
Oui.
Vous savez nager?
Je ne sais pas.
Did you bring a sketch pad?
Comment était votre journée? Difficile. Je ne l'ai même pas vu sourire.
You're gonna have to
S'il était beau.
coax it out of her. Tried to be funny.
Il est inachevé?
C'est ma sœur qui le brodait.
Vous pensez qu'elle a voulu mourir?
That's straightforward.
Vous êtes la première personne à ne pas avoir peur de poser cette question.
Après vous, j'imagine.
D'autant que dans sa dernière lettre, elle s'excusait. Sans motif.
Well, there's your answer.
Que savez-vous de mon futur mariage?
Je sais que vous devez vous unir à un Milanais. C'est tout.
Milanese.
C'est tout ce que j'en sais aussi. Vous comprenez que ça m'inquiète? Et vous? Quand allez-vous vous marier?
Je ne sais pas si je vais me marier.
Vous n'y êtes pas obligé?
Non.
She has the luxury of not having to.
Je vais prendre la succession de mon père. Il a un commerce.
C'est parce que vous pouvez choisir que vous ne me comprenez pas.
Je pensais plutôt que vous pouviez l'autoriser à sortir seule. Vous n'avez rien à craindre, elle n'est pas triste, elle est en colère.
Si vous n'êtes pas obligé de rentrer à Paris, j'ai parlé de vous à une amie qui voudrait son portrait.
Promising her more work.
Sarà un
Too.
lavoro difficile. Perché la mia amica è particolarmente brutta. Mi avete fatto ridere.
Je n'ai rien fait du tout.
Vous êtes là.
You're here.
Il faut être deux pour être drôle.
Oh.
Vous avez du tabac?
Oui.
When did they find out that smoking's bad for you?
Votre mère est d'accord pour que vous sortiez seule demain. Vous serez libre.
Être libre, c'est être seul. Je veux entendre de la musique.
L'orgue, c'est beau, mais c'est la musique des morts.
C'est la seule que je connaisse.
Vous n'avez jamais entendu un orchestre?
What? I've been in an orchestra. I
C'est
don't know
pas
how
facile de raconter la musique.
to... Yeah. She's gonna play it while it's still covered?
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
C'est un morceau que j'aime. Ça raconte l'histoire d'un orage qui monte. Et des insectes qui le sentent. Avec les éclairs et le vent.
You made her smile.
Je l'ai en tête, mais je ne trouve pas. Vous entendrez la suite. Milan est une ville de musique. Je dis juste qu'il y aura aussi de bonnes choses.
Vous dites surtout que de temps en temps, je serai consolée.
And she's participating in this, moving forward towards the marriage, too, behind her back. Ooh.
J'ai senti dans la solitude la liberté dont vous parliez. Mais j'ai aussi senti que vous me manquiez.
Le portrait est terminé.
Is it?
J'aimerais lui montrer d'abord.
Ooh.
Et lui dire moi-même la vérité.
Elle parle de vous.
Is it just me, or should I air this reaction during Pride Month, though? She says she misses her, and she looks at Marianne as much as Marianne is trying to study her. Oh. That didn't look intentional, but she's certainly not trying to stop it. Oh, well, no, she just put it in the fireplace.
Héloïse,
Heloise.
je suis venue pour vous peindre.
She might already know. She
J'ai fini
doesn't.
votre portrait hier soir.
She doesn't seem like a dummy.
Je comprends mieux pourquoi vous me vantiez les charmes de l'exil. Vous vous sentiez coupable. Vous repartez?
Tout à l'heure, avec votre mère.
Even though she feels betrayed, she's just like, "Are you leaving?"
Alors c'est aujourd'hui que je me baigne.
Wait, she doesn't know how to swim. You might need to go out there in case she gets pulled out.
Alors, vous savez nager?
Je sais toujours pas si je sais. C'était donc ça vos regards. C'est moi?
Well, if you have to ask.
Oui.
Vous me voyez comme ça?
Il y a des règles, des conventions, des idées.
Of course there are.
Vous voulez dire qu'il n'y a pas de vie?
Ooh.
Je ne vous savais pas critique d'art.
Je ne vous savais pas peindre.
Oh. Oh. Damn. Ooh.
Ce n'était pas assez bien. Je vais reprendre. Je n'aurai pas plus.
Je suis désolé.
Alors vous êtes incapable.
Oh,
Vous
whoa.
pouvez partir.
Elle va rester. Je vais poser pour elle.
You will.
Pourquoi?
Qu'est-ce que cela change pour vous?
Je pars 5 jours. Quand je rentre, le tableau est fini.
5 days.
C'est moi qui le décide, pas vous.
Regardez-moi. La chaleur va vous faire du bien.
Oh.
Les noyaux la gardent longtemps. Je vous remercie.
Period cramps.
D'habitude, j'en ai toujours une de prête. Je n'ai pas eu mes mois. Tu veux un enfant? Non. J'attendais que madame soit partie pour pouvoir m'en occuper.
Wow. Nope. They just popped up from the ground. Like daisies.
Non. Il ne doit pas y avoir de fleurs. C'est vrai.
What the heck?
Ce sera
Terminate the
suffisant.
pregnancy?
Attendons de voir.
Vous avez connu l'amour?
Oui.
Oi! Does the artist's job include watching her while she sleeps? Yes, this shall be the portrait that hangs on the walls. You're supposed to stay still. Very serious looking.
Je n'arrive pas à vous faire sourire.
You have
Je ne
to.
voulais pas vous blesser.
Vous ne m'avez pas blessé.
Si, je le vois. Quand vous êtes ému, vous faites comme ça avec votre main. Pardonnez-moi, je n'aimerais pas être à votre place.
Mais nous sommes à la même place. Exactement à la même place. Regardez. Si vous me regardez, qui je regarde moi? Quand vous perdez le contrôle, vous haussez les sourcils. Et quand vous êtes troublé, vous respirez par la bouche.
Oh. Oh, what is this game called?
Non, j'ai pas touché. Non, j'ai pas touché.
Nice cut of her smiling, enjoying her time, to just this seriousness.
Vous peignez des modèles nus aussi?
Des femmes, oui.
Would you like
Pas des
to?
hommes?
Je n'ai pas le droit.
Surtout une façon de nous empêcher de faire de la grande peinture.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
Sans notion de l'anatomie masculine, toute la gamme des grands sujets nous échappe.
Que dites-vous à vos modèles? Pour les distraire? Vous vous ennuyez? Non.
No.
Je m'intéresse à vous.
Uh-huh. I can tell.
Vous êtes très élégante.
Très élégante.
Vous êtes jolie. Voilà ce que je leur dis.
Ô divinité de ce monde souterrain où retombent toutes les créatures mortelles de notre espèce, je suis venu chercher ici mon épouse. Terminé.
Ah, Orpheus and Eurydice.
Il n'est rien qui ne vous... Alors, pour la première fois, des larmes mouillèrent, dit-on, les joues des Euménides, vaincues par
Humanities.
ses accents. Orphée obtient qu'elle lui soit rendue, à la condition qu'il ne jettera pas les yeux derrière lui avant d'être sorti, sinon la faveur sera sans effet. Craignant qu'Eurydice ne lui échappe, et impatient de la voir,
He looks
son
back.
amoureux époux tourne les yeux, et aussitôt, elle est entraînée en arrière.
C'est
Oh.
horrible.
Oh man.
La pauvre, pourquoi s'est-il retourné? On lui a dit de ne pas se retourner et au dernier moment, il se retourne sans raison. Il y a des raisons.
Peut-être que c'est elle qui lui a dit. Retourne-toi.
Oh. I mean, I like the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, but I'm trying to think what connection it has, or what importance it has in the role of this story.
Je dis que je suis toujours enceinte. De venir la voir dans 2 jours.
Dang it.
Je viendrai avec vous.
Are people singing that, or is this... Oh. Okay, this is pretty nice. But when it started, I was like, this is kind of freaky. Oh. She was on fire, but she didn't even break eye contact. Did we come to a secret cave to spelunk a little bit? That was a euphemism. You gone leaving? Well, I can see why she doesn't want to get married.
Nous n'attendons pas Héloïse. Elle est souffrante. Elle ne veut pas dîner.
Whoa. She looks like a freaking ghost. What? Oh, and her quick disappearance kind of like led... I don't know, it's like I saw her... It's like I saw the absence of her because of the way she faded. Jeez.
aviez raison. Vous pensez que tous les amants ont le sentiment d'inventer quelque chose.
Vous voulez plus m'accompagner?
J'arrive.
This whole storyline of a secret abortion.
Regardez.
Oh man.
C'est fini. Allez vous coucher. Je vais la veiller. Je ne veux pas me coucher. Vous pouvez vous lever? Nous allons peindre.
Now?
Regardez là.
Tenez-vous un peu plus voûté.
It's important to capture this moment. Man. She can't help but smile now.
Soyez sérieuse.
No.
Je l'ai acheté à une femme à la fête. C'est une plante. Elle m'a dit que ça rallongeait le temps.
Oh, wow. Oh. She's just in the other room and she's already haunting her.
Cette fois-ci, je l'aime bien.
Peut-être parce que je vous connais un peu mieux.
Yeah.
Peut-être que j'ai changé aussi depuis. Ce n'était pas pour moi que vous avez détruit le précédent. C'était pour vous.
Je voudrais détruire aussi celui-ci.
C'est terrible. Parce que maintenant que vous me possédez un peu, vous m'en voulez.
Oh,
Non. Si.
God. The setup for this whole movie is
Alice.
brilliant.
Dites ce que vous avez sur le cœur.
She
Vous
forced her
préférez
into
que je
this.
résiste?
Yes.
Vous me le demandez?
Non. Nous avons eu des nouvelles.
Yeah,
Madame rentre demain matin.
of course she does.
Très bien.
Pardonnez-moi. Votre mère rentre demain. Quand sait-on que c'est fini?
Un moment, on s'arrête.
When Heloise said that she ruined the first one for her, for herself,
C'est fini.
and
Pour
she's
qui est-ce?
for her to keep.
Pour moi.
Dans quelque temps, c'est elle que vous verrez. Quand vous penserez à moi.
And you won't think of. She referred to her as
Je
her.
n'aurai pas d'image de vous.
Oh.
Donnez-moi votre livre.
Self-portrait.
Pose cette affaire. Ne dors pas. Ne dors pas. Ne dors pas. Ne dors pas.
Need every waking moment.
Ne regrettez pas. Souvenez-vous.
fois où vous avez ri.
Vous avez mis du temps à être drôle. Je me souviendrai de la première fois où j'ai eu envie de vous embrasser.
What was that?
Quand était-ce?
Vous n'avez pas vu?
Quand vous m'avez demandé si j'avais déjà aimé, j'ai senti que la réponse était oui. Et que c'était maintenant.
I want a happier ending for them. Who are you?
Bonjour. Ils sont là.
Put their relationship away with her own hands.
Héloïse, venez avec moi.
Je vous rejoins.
Non, maintenant. J'ai un cadeau pour vous.
It's not fair. Oh, a hug. She hugged the mother, so she had an excuse to hug her.
Retourne-toi.
Orpheus and Eurydice.
Vous m'avez fait si triste.
You are.
Vous l'étiez.
Vous montez la garde.
J'observe les réactions.
On a tendance à le représenter avant qu'il ne se retourne, ou après, quand Eurydice meurt. Chez vous, on dirait qu'il se salue.
Oh, that's too fucking sad. Are you kidding me? Oh. She has a kid. Oh my god. Every
Je les
freaking
revois une
day.
dernière fois.
Oh, I thought she meant the last time was the painting. Oh my god.
Elle ne m'a pas vu.
This is the song she was playing earlier, right? It's Vivaldi. She's appreciating the music, but also remembering her. Oh. Damn. Jeez. This is frickin' cinema. That was a beautiful film. Beautiful freaking film. I didn't mention it during the movie because I was so caught up with their performance, but the two leads that play Marianne and Heloise are so fantastic. Every little acting choice. I mentioned a couple of times that this movie is slow and deliberate, and that describes the way the actors approach their roles as well. And that's all to their credit. There's a lot of films that feel too slow and I'll find them annoying and get bored, but I never felt like that even came close to being the case with this movie. And yeah, the actors got me to invest in their characters so well that I was just waiting with bated breath on every additional scene. And the premise of this movie is just fantastic. Like a woman who has to play undercover artist to hand this woman off for her marriage and then falling in love with her. Like we aren't aware of it when we start the movie, but once we realize the feelings that are at play here, it just becomes so incredibly deeply tragic. The love that Heloise and Marianne share, the moments they have together are so fleeting, but the memories they shared will last a lifetime. And everything in this movie is set up perfectly. Sophie's whole story with her abortion, the themes that stem from that storyline are present in the rest of the film as well. And the whole inclusion of it is so interesting and in some ways even radical. Like abortion is not something we see on screen often at all, especially not the actual process of it, let alone one that takes place in the past. And the choices to have babies right next to Sophie as it happens, it's just incredibly striking. Like, I think all other media has made the process seem so sterile, so clinical, but there's great warmth in that scene, and it's beautiful. And through the process, the movie makes us sit with it. Heloise even tells Marianne to look. And in a film where it's so much about where Heloise and Marianne's gaze lands, it speaks to the importance of the moment, and it's so beautifully done. And then later on, Heloise decides that they should capture that moment in a painting, and just, wow. And yeah, the abortion is just handled in such a matter-of-fact way. Marianne asks Sophie if she wants to keep it, and she says no, and we just move on to the next step. There's no one scolding her, there are no judgments, it's the way it should be, and it's fantastic. And then the theme of bodily autonomy, of choice, is disseminated throughout the rest of the film too. Like, Sophie gets to choose, but in so many parts of her own life, Heloise doesn't. Like, she feels she has no real choice about her future throughout the film, which is reinforced by that incredible scene where she and Marianne have a fight. Do not think me collusive or complicit or guilty in this society that asks so much of me. Where is the fairness in being forced into my sister's place? In me carrying around the burden of societal expectation, of my mother's happiness, like what little control she does have of her life these last few days. The small choices she gets to make in this movie are about loving Marianne, about taking care of Sophie, and she is set on fire by the world, and she still chooses to stare deep into Marianne the entire time. And yeah, she isn't afforded enough choices in this movie, but she still takes what little she can to continue proving her love. And of course, being painted with her finger pushing to page 28, that is so freaking beautiful and poetic and heartbreaking all at the same time. It's unfair how stunning this movie is. Like, it made me cry over a page number. And yeah, despite some really serious topics and the tone, there's room for great mirth, humor, romance, joy. It's just fantastic. And yeah, I mentioned how everything is set up perfectly. There's not a lot of music in this movie, but the music that's there is so intentional and so powerful. The chant at the bonfire for this otherworldly moment of Heloise on fire and just staring into Marianne's soul. And then Vivaldi's Summer, the Four Seasons Summer. My orchestra in high school didn't play that. I don't think enough of us were at a level capable of playing that. But it's one of those seminal pieces that everybody's heard. I myself love string music as well, so I've really loved it in the past. I didn't actually fully recognize it when Marianne was playing it. First, because she forgot how it went, but also because I've never heard it on anything but like a fully formed orchestra, let alone like a single harpsichord. But I love that the music is a memory for them in that manner, and then in the end, as Marianne sits there in the audience of this mesmerizing, fantastical orchestral performance, playing the song that they share, we never once see the actual orchestra, because once Marianne sees Heloise, she's just transfixed, staring at her. We are made to stare at her as well through the full 3 minutes. Like, you feel the yearning, but you also see everything on Heloise's face as well, just sitting through all of it, living through her emotions as well. And yeah, getting to live more of life. She said she always wanted to listen to live music, and she finally can, but it's also a reminder of what she lost in the pursuit of that. It's a reminder of when Marianne tried to play that music for her. Like, heck, that might have been the reason they both went to see that performance in the first place, because it was a song that they both shared. And we never see Heloise notice Marianne at the music hall, but is it possible that she caught a glimpse earlier, but then chooses not to look at her again? Because I think that would add a completely different layer to the story of Orpheus and Eurydice as well. And yeah, I enjoyed the reading of Orpheus and Eurydice about halfway through the film, but I was also thinking at the time, like, is it just a nice story and a nice moment, or are they trying to say more? But yeah, it wound up being such a great parallel to Heloise and Marianne's situation. That ending, asking her to turn around, it's so unbelievably poetic and romantic. And of course, Heloise also paints such a stunning painting of Eurydice and Orpheus as well for the art gallery. And yeah, I think what makes this movie really, really work is the tension and vulnerability between Marianne and Heloise, and not just the romantic parts, but the way they trade snipes and barbs. Marianne saying that she didn't know Heloise was an art critic after her first painting, and Heloise responding that she didn't know Marianne was a painter. That line cuts so unbelievably deep, because she doesn't act surprised or that upset by it earlier, but all along it was a huge betrayal of trust, and she just kind of holds it in until that one particular moment. But eventually they're able to move past it, and then they had another fight at the end where they're kind of angry at each other when it's really the situation that they're angry about, and the struggle between the two of them makes the movie work so much better. And yeah, this movie is so deeply feminist, and it's set in a time when they probably hadn't even come up with the word feminism yet. Like, Sophie makes the choice to have an abortion, and it's immediately backed up by Marianne and Heloise without question. And Heloise, she's like this rich person. We see so little of her early on in the movie. We don't even see her and Sophie interact really at all. And She upsets the structural order of the society by reversing the roles and taking care of Sophie instead. And the bond they share, women supporting each other, women being close, it's beautiful to see. And then so much more of this movie is an indictment of the patriarchal way of society. Heloise is made to marry this man she doesn't even know, and we mourn the way that society is because it forces her and Marianne apart. And at the end of the movie there at the art gallery, Marianne had to enter her own painting under her father's name. There was a discussion of how women artists are cut off from painting the male form to keep them from painting important figures. And the fact that important figures in this society are all men in the first place is also very telling. It's an excellent critique of just society as a whole. And then there's the whole idea of consent in this movie too. Like, Marianne asks if it's okay for her to position Heloise for the painting. It's something that can be easily overlooked. It's such a small detail, but I also really appreciated it. And then with their first kiss, both of their mouths were covered by cloth, so by both of them taking off their own cloth, they are giving consent in that way as well. It's so unbelievably clever. God, this movie is just cinema with a capital C, an absolute masterpiece. It's a tragedy that's still so full of love and yearning and just so many incredible themes. I gotta give this a 10 out of 10. This is one of those movies that I'm gonna have to rewatch and it's gonna stick with me forever. And there are so many more things I could talk about. I'd even mention the ghost Heloise, or the previous painting with no face that starts burning from the heart, or that scene where they talk about how their physical reactions are an indication of their emotions. When you're troubled, you breathe through your mouth. Marianne does that when she runs to Heloise at the end of the movie, partially because she ran there, but also because she's deeply troubled. It hurts her so much to have had that fight and knowing their time is ending. There's so much more to this movie, but let's leave it here. Let me know what your thoughts were about this film. I assume you loved it too if you even clicked on this video, but yeah, full reaction is going to be on Patreon. Leave a like, hit the subscribe button. It makes it easier for me to trick you into clicking on my face in the future. I'll see you all next time with another movie reaction. Bye, friends.